I know how to speak Spanish for the ladies. Hola, ¿cómo está? My name is Isaiah. Me llamo, you right. Me llamo, amigo. My name is Isaias. For the señoritas out there, hit my way. Y'all know where I'm at. Just for a late night drive, just relaxing. And on the way back off the 309, I'm driving. And it's crazy too. This is actually something y'all don't know. This is actually something only my uncle knows, Uncle Jared. I actually had, correct me if I don't know how to pronounce this word, but a reminiscence of the car accident before I actually had the car accident.
Get the anointing, you have to go through stuff. And that is how God is going to be able to use not only us, but as encouraging our viewers, that you're going through tests and trials to help someone else get through. There's a saying that what you go through is not for you, it's for someone else.
I love you guys. I love you guys. You have done a magnificent job. And keep where God is taking y'all.
Once again, we are live. The Johnson 5 Talk Show. Joe is here with us with his little Dewey on, I think. Joe is here with us, and so we are extremely excited. Guys, sorry, we was supposed to do it last week, but then I had a meeting, then we was all kind of busy, and so we couldn't do it. But guess what? We are excited to be back, and officially we want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys. We want to say that officially. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys for joining us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Big bro Anthony is here with us. He has to keep his camera off because he has another engagement that he is going to, but we do appreciate him for being here. Joe, tell the audience hello.
Hello.
All right. Again, we want to thank everybody for watching and thank you for your support. We are going to get right into a topic, but before we get into a topic, we want to talk about updates. What has been happening in our lives? And so someone just unmute yourselves, one of the brothers, and just talk to us about any updates, any things that you're involved in, any things that happened to you recently. Tell us a little bit about what has been going on.
As y'all know, I am in this long process of going to the Air Force. It is a long process that is getting prolonged, but recently I did have a new recruiter reach out to me and let me know that I have to get my blood drawn for a couple things. And once I get that sent over, then hopefully there is not an extra step, and hopefully God's will, I'm able to finally achieve my dream of going into the Air Force, a long-lived dream of another thing, as y'all know, we have a new addition to the family, Tequila. She's just getting pretty big. I just disappeared, but she's getting very big. So yeah, new addition, we'll always be here. Proud addition to the family. But yeah.
That is awesome. We're excited to see our brother go and do what he has to take care of. We're excited about that. Someone else. Joe, tell us what's been going on with you, boo.
Nothing much. Been going to school, and once I got home from school, I've been playing Fortnite all day.
That's it. That's all you got for us. What, you've been going to school? Is basketball season still starting? Has it started?
No.
It hasn't started?
No.
All right. Well, that is Joe for you. Not many words, but he does speak. Sa's back in college, and so tell us a little bit about your update, brother.
Same old, same old. Nothing new over here, just in my last semester, so trying to finish strong.
All right, big bro, if you can talk, let us know your update.
I guess an update. I don't know. I don't think y'all know, but the enemy tried to take my life yet again. I got into a car accident. Um, my car is totaled, so I'm, going through that. Um, but on the flip side, this Friday will be my first podcast, if you will. And you know, join me. Join me. We're going to talk about, the things that preachers' kids go through. So join me this Friday, 7 p.m. Facebook Live. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, and before we talk about that, we do have to give a special shout out to Jose Escobar. We appreciate you so much for being our sponsor of the Johnson 5 Talk Show. Again,
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Jose Escobar, he is the founder and CEO of Connected Leaders Academy. And if you need help in your business, if you want to network, if you want to engage and surround yourself with a bunch of successful entrepreneurs, this is definitely the group for you. So go ahead, you can contact Jose Escobar on Facebook @ Jose Escobar. Go ahead and message him if you want to surround yourself. This is the new year. And so if you need a new way of looking at things, a new perspective, if you just want to succeed this year, this is the group for you, the Connected Leaders Academy. Again, we appreciate you, Jose Escobar, for being our sponsor. Well, yes, just like Big Bro said, the voice of a preacher's kid, a powerful, powerful topic, and I am excited to tune in for him. Again, that's at 7 p.m. next Friday. Save the date. Save the date right now because you don't want to miss that. You do not want to miss what will be going
This Friday.
on. Oh, this Friday. Yeah, this Friday. What will be going on and what will be discussed on that podcast. A quick update about me. I'm applying for jobs now. I applied for a job last week. As me and Solomon are seniors, we are getting ready to do our life, live our lives. We are getting ready to be adults. And so I applied to my first job last week. I'm not sure what route God wants me to go. I have businesses. I'm an entrepreneur. I have businesses that are taking off. And so I'm not sure if he wants me to be a full-time entrepreneur or if he wants me to be in the sports industry. But whatever or wherever he wants me to go, I am excited. So I applied for my first job. So that is the update. So for our topic for tonight, very important topic. Our topic for tonight is success for the new year. Success for the new year and what that means and how we can do that. And before we start with the topic, do you guys have any New Year resolutions, right? Do you guys have any goals for the new year? Tell us a little bit about some of your goals that you might have. Anyone can unmute themselves.
My goal, really, I spoke a little bit to Bishop, our big brother, about it, but really my goal is to just God's will go into the Air Force because, like I said, this process is being prolonged when it should not be prolonged. So it's like, that's really my only goal this year is to just reach where I wanted to go because I've been in this process since July of 2023 and it's almost February 2024. And yeah, some people that I started in the process with is already enlisted. So yeah, that's my only goal.
All right. Anyone else? What is a goal that you have this year?
My only goal I would say is to graduate. Been doing this now this will be my going on 4 years, and I'm ready to get out of here and start my career off.
All right. Good goal. Joe, do you have any goals to be the greatest Fortnite player this year? Is that your goal?
Yes. Fine.
Or do you have any goals? Anything that you want to accomplish this year? You want to be on varsity,
No.
right? You don't want to play varsity?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
So that's a goal this year, right? Hello. Okay. I
Yeah.
think okay. Well, anyways, Joe, we just going to skip you. Okay, that's your goal for varsity. All right. Big bro, do you have any goals this year that you want to accomplish? If you could talk.
You might hear music in the background, forgive me. Um, Goals, as far as goals, I don't think I have any goals. I just want everything that God has for me. I think that's my goal, to get everything that God has for me this year.
That's a powerful, powerful goal. I would say my goal is to have my businesses blow up. I have 2 businesses and I've been in contact with one person who's going to help me with the funding for this one business that I'm excited to launch soon. It's not launched yet. And then my other business we help with a bunch of graphic designs. And so we're doing a lot so far. And I'm going to be hiring someone, wink, wink, Solomon, who will be my administrative assistant as soon as he signs paperwork and all that. But yeah, so I'm excited for my entrepreneurship spirit and all my businesses, and my goal is just to bring those and scale those a little bit more. So I would say that's definitely one of my goals. Okay, so for our topic, success for the new year. So when you hear this topic, success for the new year, what comes to mind? What are some things, some value or some nuggets that you can tell people that you went through or some things that you experienced that you can say, okay, this year you'll be successful?
I would say just having the determination to whatever your goals is, whatever your ambitions is, whatever you want to do within this year, to strive at it. It's always great to have goals and always great to have, set of plans and ideas that you want to conquer or that you want to totally focus on for this year. And that's great. But it's also great to execute it. It means nothing if you just have a plan. I can have a plan, but if I don't execute the plan means absolutely nothing. So I think it has to be one value is determination and execution to for this year, to just make sure that you are determined and make sure that you execute every plan and goal that you have.
Now, how does someone keep that determination? because a lot of times, we go through bumps, go through challenges in the road, and then we don't see that success right away, or we have this goal, we have this plan, and we're trying to stay determined, but we're constantly going through a roller coaster. How does someone stay determined?
I think somebody stays determined by just keeping the positive attitude and having faith that no matter what is going to get done. It's going to be tough and it's easier said than done. But if you ask anybody, I believe that they would say the same thing, that you just have to keep a positive attitude, because at the end of the day, nothing will always go perfect for you. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, and you can have a vision, but sometimes that vision that you have always encounters some obstacles, or that vision that you have always, you go to some trials and tribulations, as they call it, and you have to learn how to maneuver or go through that obstacle. So I think that it's just having that positive attitude that, what's for me is for me, and what's not for me is not for me. But I know that as I continue on this path, that is going to get better and better. It got to get worse first, but as it gets worse, it's going to get better.
That's awesome. And I think determination it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't go through trials and tribulations, but determination means that no matter what you go through, you're going to get to your destination. I would say that's my definition of determination, that it doesn't mean that you won't go through storms, but when you do enter the storm, determination kicks in when you say, I don't care what happens, I don't care what obstacle comes my way, I'm going to get to my goal. That's what determination looks like. Zay, tell us a little bit about what you thought about the topic, success for the new year.
Success for the new year. I feel as though if you want to be successful, it's something that you have to go out and put in the time and the effort. A lot of us, including me, so not to be hypocritical, but this is something that we do all the time. Is like New Year's come around, we make a list. Oh, I want to save up this amount of money, or oh, I want to get a car, I want to get a house, and we set the high bars for ourselves. And yes, that is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to push yourself to the limit. But when you set the bar so high and you don't have that motivation for it, it doesn't equal out. And that's when a lot of us comes to the realization like, oh, I didn't reach my New Year's goal. And then the next year we had the same New Year's goal, So I feel as though success for the new year doesn't start with planning. It starts with motivation. Motivation is the key. If you want it, then you will go out and get it. Anybody can say, oh yeah, I want $1 million. If I put $1 million in front of you, then you're going to take it without a doubt. But if I teach you how to make $1 million, now you have 5 million, So yeah, I just feel like it's just the motivation that comes with it in order to be successful.
And it's that famous saying that you just kind of said, and I'm going to butcher this saying, but if you feed a man a fish, then he'll just eat for a night. But if you teach a man how to fish, then he'll eat forever. And so I think that's important. I feel like, and Zay, let me get your thoughts on this. I feel like nowadays, we just want to go the easy way, right? We just want the easy way out. There's so many, and I was just looking at this, there's so many different things online that you can do just sitting down at the comfort of your, whatever, at your desk or laying down, right? There's so many easy routes that we want to take and making money, and we don't want to work hard to gain what we want. What are your thoughts about that?
So since we talk about it, my brothers know me. I'm gonna do real talk. So for the people out there, this is real talk. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. And since we are youth, I feel like our target is the youth. And so speaking on the youth, especially this day, are very unmotivated. Me, myself, I'm working all the time, and either I have a second job or I have my first job, but I'm always working. I've always been working since I hit high school. I've always had a job. I worked at McDonald's, then I left that. I've been working at a mall, and I've been there ever since. I had 2 jobs in that mall, one job, seasonal jobs. But it's always a hustle. It's always ways to make money. Us, when it came to snowing, we was out there going house to house to house, breaking bread, making money because we was motivated to do that. We humans, we had money on our mind. So it's like if you don't have that motivation, you're not going to go out there. And kids these days don't have that motivation. I don't know what it is, but they don't have that motivation to actually do something with their life. Speaking like I said, real talk, some people that I know, they don't know outside of Philadelphia. As y'all know, we are in the Philadelphia area. I'm in the Philadelphia area. And people that live in Philadelphia do not know outside of Philadelphia. They are born and raised here, and sadly, their caskets are made here and they are buried in Philadelphia. They never experienced out. If my brother Solomon is cool with me saying this, he just went to Costa Rica and just had the time of his life. He called us. I was on my break eating Chick-fil-A, then called me, took 5 minutes off my break. I wasn't mad though, but he had the time of his life. He had a smile on his face. He was with somebody and he was just having the time of his life, experiencing stuff outside of where he's at, And I feel like a lot of us just have that bubble and we aren't able to leave the bubble. It's like a dome. Like you're in Philly. Oh, Philly is Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. It is Puerto Rico, not Costa Rica. But I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like people don't want to go out and actually experience the world. They think they have here is enough. And it's not. It's always more to it.
And that's definitely a great point. But Zay, I got to ask you this. Say if there's someone who is motivated, right? There's someone who is like, okay, I want this, but has a lack of tools. What do you say to that person? Right? Because I think part of it is what tools you have and what you can use. And so what do you say to that person that is like, I am motivated, right? I want this. I just don't have the tools that everyone else has. What would you say to that person?
So as cliche as it sounds, from experience myself, I know the saying is true. If there is, how do I say the saying? If there is will, then there is a way. There we go. For instance, right? Or also, I'm gonna make 2 points. If there is a will, there's a way. And you always have a tool, but it just may not be the tool you want or expect, right? So for instance, to describe that, say we had a toy car and you needed to unscrew it, put the batteries in, but you don't have a screwdriver. You're looking for a screwdriver because guess what? That's the easiest tool to use. Just twist. But you have a knife in the cabinet. A knife can work just as good as a screwdriver. It doesn't look the same, but it does the same job, And not a lot of people expect that. You can easily use a knife, twist it off. But you're going for the easiest route, not even the easiest route, just the most similar route, right? And yeah, so I feel like if there is a will, yes, it may be hard. And yes, in this time, like you might not think you're going to reach that goal, but as long as there's a will and that motivation keeps up, you're always going to find a way. You're always going to be out there looking for another way, looking for another tool. Because if you really have that motivation, then you really want that. So you're always going to look for a way. Oh, how do I get this? How do I get one step closer to where I need to be?
I think, and it goes back to what Solomon said, determination. You would tell if someone is determined by what their life looks like. And I'm a strong believer in that. You can tell someone's determination, but what their life looks like. Zay, you talk about the Air Force all the time. We can tell that you're determined, even to this day, to get there no matter what it takes. Right. And so that determination is a big word, because if you are really determined to get to where you want to go, there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting there, no matter what path you're on, no matter how many tools you may lack. It does not matter. As long as you're determined, that you're going to get there. And so it goes back to Solomon's word, determination. So we have two words for you guys. Success for the new year is our topic. Again, those two words is determination. Determination was spoken by Solomon. And then we have motivation. Zay just gave us that word, motivation and determination. Joe, success for the new year, right? So you heard these two words, and I know this might be a little bit above your head, but you know, you have goals, right? You want to be in the NBA, you want to be a police officer, right? So how are you getting there? What are some things that you can tell other people to get to their dreams?
Oh, I could tell people to like work on your weaknesses on
Say
that,
that say that one more time.
working on the weaknesses of your thing that you're trying to do.
Okay. On.
Huh?
Go ahead.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay, so say if someone says, Joe, I ain't got no weaknesses. I got all strengths. What are you telling them? What are you telling them? You just told me, which is great, Joe. I thought that was great. Working on your weaknesses. That's an awesome word that you came up with. But what if there's somebody like, hey, Joe, I don't got no weaknesses. I got strengths. What are you saying to that person?
You can still work on the things to get better at it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, Sa, elaborate on a little bit about what Joe was talking about, working on your weaknesses. Is that something that is very important to succeed?
I believe that is important to succeed. Bishop Felton always says, make your good better and your better the best. And so I believe that every weakness that you have, it's a skill, and weakness that you have, I believe that you develop that into a skill by actually working on that weakness that you have. Because in the long run, that weakness, if you work on that and work on that and work on that, and it becomes a strength, you will now have more strengths than weaknesses.
Okay, that is an awesome point. Joe, what you said is very important. Working on your weaknesses. I think a lot. Did you have something to say, Joe?
Nah.
Oh, I think a lot of times we focus on the strengths so much, which is important. Don't get me wrong, especially when it comes to being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. Obviously, you want to constantly do the things that you're strong at. But however, you want to also work on your weaknesses because as Solomon said, that famous quote, you want to make your good better and you want to make your better best. So I think that's so important. So we have determination, we have motivation, and we have working on your weaknesses. Big Bro, if you can talk, tell us something. What does that topic mean to you? Success for the new year. Is there a word or a phrase that you want to give to the people?
The phrase, I'm trying to think of it. Give me a second. Yeah, the phrase where we always say, if you want new results, you have to do something different.
Hmm.
So I think with success for the new year, if you've been doing something over and over again and you have been seeing the same results, this year, change what you do to expect different results. And I think oftentimes we want success, but we don't want to change the methods of how we get there. So yeah.
I think that is powerful and important. You want new results, you got to do something different. Zay, elaborate on that for me just a little bit to the young people, for those young people who may not understand what that means. New results do something different.
I feel like that is a very good point. Um, because yes, you like Bishop said, our big brother, um, doing something over and over again and getting the same results, nothing is going to change. And if you switch it up, maybe you would get a different result. And not saying every single time is going to be better, but now you learn. It's a progressive thing. So you switch it up. Oh, I failed. Okay, maybe not do this. Maybe, all right, you know what, for an example, because I do better with speaking than examples, right? Say with cooking and you have spices. You cook over and over again and you make the same dish. And you know, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then you think, you know what? Let me add a little spice to it. So you add a little bit of pepper. Oh, that was too much pepper. So now you learn, yes, you did it bad. Yes, you switched it up and didn't get the result you wanted. But now you know, oh, next time, let me light it down on the pepper. Let me add a little bit of salt. Oh, too little bit of salt. Yes, once again, you did it bad. You still did it good because now you know how much pepper to put in. And you still did it bad with the salt. But guess what? Now you know, oh, yeah, next time, let me add a little bit more salt. So I feel like it's like Big Brother was saying, it's a progressive thing. You're not going to get what you want if you just go out and say, you know what, today's the day. And as cliche as it sounds, a lot of people do that. They say, you know what, today's the day, I'm going to change my ways and I'm going to get it right now, right today. That's not how it works. You can say, yes, today's the day, I'm going to change my ways, but you have to be willing to change your ways and wait for the progress to happen. Just like working out. You're not just going to go to the gym one day, be like, you know what, today's the day, and bulk up and be a 350-pound guy all bulked up. You know, it's not how it works. It's a progressive thing where you see progression over months, over years, probably. You know, you just have to be patient and still put in the work in.
I like that. Sa, explain that to me in your point of view. What does that mean? New results do something different.
I think getting new results makes you more aware of what's working and what's not working. Einstein once said, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is what insanity. So I believe that, by doing the same thing over and over again and you getting the same result, it's something that has to change. So by you changing what you're doing and now getting a different result, now it shows you that, oh, okay, well, now this works, which gives you on what to do and what not to do. I think also with different results, it makes you more aware of what you can accomplish and the framework or the timing in which you can do it. That's that is, let's use the example with Isaiah and what he said with cooking. By doing the same thing over and over again, let's say you're making noodles, as he said, by doing the same thing over and over again, the noodles cooks for approximately 5 minutes and you cook it for 8 minutes, and you do that over and over again, and now the noodles is overcooked. You're getting the same result by you trying to change what happens or what occurs. It cooks for 5 minutes, maybe you cook it for 3 minutes, or maybe you cook it for 5 minutes on the dot. That gives you different results, which makes you aware of what you can do, what you cannot do, and the time frame you can do it from, what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
That's awesome. And I think that this getting new, if you want new results, doing something different, I think that plays with even all the things that you guys have said, right? You want new results, well, you got to be determined, right? You got to be motivated, as Zay said. Then you got to work on your weaknesses, as Joe said. And so all of these play a big role in what Big Bro said, which is if you want new results, you got to do something different. I would say I have two. I have two words that I would say. The first word is be comfortable being uncomfortable. be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Just let that process in your head, right? Oftentimes, and I've learned this, okay, because you are only going to go as far as you're comfortable with, right? If someone told me to speak to millions of people, or if someone told me to speak to 100 people, I'm more than likely comfortable speaking at the 100 people event rather than a million people event, right? But I'm not growing myself because I'm just staying in my comfort zone, right? We have to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to get out of comfort zones because that's where you start to make networking happen. That's where you start to really grow your success. And so that's my word, my phrase, we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You want to succeed in the new year, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. My second one is sacrifice. What do I even mean by sacrifice? Obviously, you can't read my mind, but it's not hard to understand what sacrifice means, right? What what does that mean? What does sacrifice entail? How does someone sacrifice? What does sacrifice even mean? Does it mean me waking up and saying, "Oh, I woke up at 6 a.m. and that's that"? What is sacrifice?
Sacrifice is different for everybody, right? As you explained, sacrifice for me, this could be a part of sacrifice, as you said, waking up at 6 a.m. I love my sleep. I just took a 4-hour nap, and it was amazing. And I love sleep, and sacrifice could be, you know what? Let me wake up at 6 a.m. and be productive. That could be a form of sacrifice. An analogy that I would say, if y'all will understand this, is you can win the battle, but you may have won the battle, but not the war. Sacrifice, like I said, could be many different things. And I feel as though the little things is the things that you have to sacrifice in order to reach the big. So, and it really all ties in with everything we said, progression and everything, and motivation. Because like Big Bro said, you have to sacrifice your ways of what you know, of doing the same thing over and over again. That's what you know, so that's what you're comfortable with, right? As Sam just said, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So doing the same thing over and over again, you're comfortable with doing that, but sacrificing the saying, you know what, I'm gonna go out my comfort zone, I'm gonna sacrifice that, and I'm gonna do something different and hope for a new result, better or for worse.
Awesome. And that is important what Zay said, sacrifice, right? You will not be successful if you don't sacrifice, right? People sacrifice all the time. Joe, who's my favorite player?
And what?
Basketball.
Basketball? Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bean Bryant. The reason why he is my favorite basketball player has nothing to do with skill. Has nothing to do with talent. Has nothing to do with all the championship rings he has won. It has everything to do with his work ethic. I fell in love with Kobe because he worked so hard, because he sacrificed so much to be successful. Okay, so success in the new year, I challenge you to sacrifice some things. Maybe put your phone away for 2 hours. Read a book for an hour, right? Maybe look online how to better myself as an entrepreneur if you have a business, right? Maybe focus a little bit more on your business when you have some time, right? Start sacrificing things, and it does not have to be something large, right? As they say, it's progression, right? You can start at something small, something that's putting your phone away for 10 minutes and reading this book on how to be a better entrepreneur, how to make money, or whatever the book may be, right? And so sacrifice is very important. And so we have determination, we have motivation, working on your weaknesses, doing something different to get a new result, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and then sacrifice. Okay, so those are 6 words that we have for you guys for this new year, for the success of this new year from the Johnson 5. Real quickly, we want to read some of these comments. So we're at halftime real quick. So we want to read some of these comments. Mom is on. She is watching per usual. Thank you for supporting, Mom. She says, you have what you work for. If you don't have, it's because you don't want it. Unc says, oh my God, say that again for the folks in the back. A cousin says, that's good, y'all. Leave your life, get out of Philadelphia. Mom says, you better preach, son. Miss Harmon says, preach. Tiani says, hitting every word on the spot. Great job. Cousin says, I love that because I'm always on my phone, even in the middle of the night. And so those are some of our comments. If you are just joining us, welcome to the Johnson 5 Talk Show. Our edition for the new year. Our topic is success for the new year. And so we just got done talk about some of the words. Again, just to repeat it, we have determination, motivation, working on your weaknesses, doing something different, sacrificing, and then being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And so, Zay, is there a story or something that you experienced that you can talk about with some of these words that we talked about that made you successful? Like, where does determination play a part in your life, and how has that helped you?
So all these words actually had me thinking the same thing that you was about to ask about how I did a course called Outward Bound. If you don't know about it, you can look it up. It's a course that teaches you life skills. It teaches you how to face fears and survival skills. And it also is helping me, have skills to go to the Air Force. One of my fears that I have actually is, I wouldn't say deep waters, but drowning in deep waters, right? And I went on a sailing trip for 2 weeks, and I have a fear, and it was something that you just had to have determination and to overcome, because while we was there, they always said, okay, if you didn't want to do this, you could always back out, but they always pushed us to our limits, right? And also coming from, I did 2 courses. I also did a hiking trip, and this one was the one that really stood out, because in this one, this was my first time going to Outward Bound. I had a scholarship, and it was food paid for me to go. And we went, and we had to hike like 10 miles in a span of 5-6 hours before it got dark, because we had to make it to our campsite. And we got tired, and the whole group got tired. And y'all know me, I'm a quiet guy when it comes, like, I'm antisocial until you get to know me. So I'm quiet, everybody's tired. And me, when it comes to things like this, like survival, I love it. So I have that motivation. So I'm tired, but I still want to go. And so I talked to the group, and I'm like, listen, we got to make it there. It's about to be dark. We have no campsite, and we have to make it there. And long story short, we made it. And it just pushed us to a different level because everybody had that determination, It's somebody, you just always need somebody to be there to either push you, help you, or go along the way. You can't, I keep saying this, but as cliche as it sounds, you cannot do it by yourself. You need somebody there, even if it's just somebody saying, oh yeah, how was your day today? Or what did you do today? That simple thing can put a different mindset on you than just going about your day, going through it by yourself, And one more point that I want to hit is fear. Fear, as I believe Solomon said, fear is actually a strength in disguise, right? Not a weakness. I wouldn't say I had a fear of heights, but once again, at Outward Bound, we had to climb. It was like, I don't want to exaggerate it, but like a 15, 20-foot tree. And we had to climb it, and then we had to jump off and slap this water bottle that was hanging on it. And the only trust we had was in our crew members that was holding us up on the pulley. And you had to jump. You just had to free fall. And everybody was scared. But when I stood on that tree, I said to myself, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime experience. Why would I back down from it? Knowing, look, either I can push myself, make this jump, and have that amazing feeling after, or I can just back down and never get to experience that feeling. And I made that jump, and then it was an experience that you would really love. So yeah, I just say just go out, do things as our cousin said, get out of Philly, as I said, get out of Philly, get out of wherever you're living, just go experience places, because that feeling that you get of like, oh, I did this, is like you get to actually see yourself and progress and actually know what you want to do. One more point, I don't want to just keep talking, but you don't know what you really want to do until you've done things, right? So that was just another point that I wanted to bring up a while back. Because if you just stay in that bubble, stay in that shield, then you never know different things in the outside world of like, oh, maybe I like this. Maybe I like doing this. Maybe I like doing that. So, yeah.
I think that's so important. And obviously, guys, you can see that the word determination is not just a word, but you can see how it plays a key part in Zay's success. And he told his story. And determination is not just, we're just not saying words, but we're saying words because we've been through it, right? We've experienced it. And so we're going to have Saad talk about motivation. What is something, obviously, you know what? No, I'm not even going to give you that because that's easy for you. I'm going to give you being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Where was, and I know I can think of several stories for you, being comfortable, being uncomfortable, but I want you to tell us a story or something you experienced where you had to be uncomfortable, but it made you who you are today.
I would say just doing my internship with the basketball team. I know that's what I always wanted to do, but my fear was, would they like me? My fear was, would I do a great job? My fear was, you know, would I have a great connection with the coach? As I heard so much about the coach, some people liked him, others hated him, others say he was this and that. And, I just didn't know what to do. And I knew that in order for me to get to where I wanted to be, which is to become a basketball coach, that I had to work with the basketball team some type of way. And I had to overcome my fear, but it was just the fear of not being wanted, and I said, you know what? Like Isaiah said, this comes once in a lifetime. The best thing he can do is say no to me, and I move from that somewhere else to get my experience. So, one day I just came up to him and I asked him, and he said yes. So I think, being comfortable, being uncomfortable is, knowing that sometimes you are in a place or in a predicament where you're not used to, but something that at the end, and you have stories where being uncomfortable doesn't make you succeed, but ultimately, being uncomfortable, the pro of being uncomfortable is it always is out in your favor at the end. At least for my experience, being uncomfortable always plays out in my favor. For some odd reason, it's just always worked out for me. So I think it's important to be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, that's when you can experience and have knowledge over other things that you didn't know before, which can potentially help you in your career.
I think that's important. What you said about having a fear of, not knowing what the coach was going to say. I think oftentimes that happens and is a part of our human life, right? We have a fear of something that we don't even know is going to happen, right? I had that situation, I want to say last year, where I had to, or 2 years ago, where I had to approach this person about something. And I was fearful to approach him, not because I was scared of him, but because I was scared at the fact of what it could do or cause for our relationship. Right. And so I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't scared of him. He was a good friend of mine. And it was something that was like I had to get out and let him know that this is something that makes me upset when you do it. But I was just scared to do it because I did not want that to affect my relationship or cause something because I said something. And so we have that fear because we assume that there's going to be a bad outcome with everything that we do. Right? We assume that with everything that we want to get on our hands in, we assume that there's an outcome that's bad for us. When in reality, for the most part, the outcome is always good. We just have to take that step, be uncomfortable, and do what we got to do, as you see in Solomon's story. And I had to take that step, be uncomfortable, approach my friend, let him know what I had to say. And I assumed it would go bad, but everything went good. And so we have to understand, and that's okay. It's okay to have assumptions and say, I don't want to do this because, I'm scared of the outcome. But eventually, you got to take a step. Okay. And so you may go 2 years without taking that step. You may go 3 years without taking that step, 4 years. Eventually, you got to take that step. And so you have to be uncomfortable. So take that step. You guys got anything before we continue? Any comments on what Sa said? All right. So, Joe, it's your turn, buddy. So tell us a story about a time where you had to sacrifice something. Okay, so I'll make it easy for you and I'll give you an example. A time where you had to sacrifice doing your homework. So you had to sacrifice playing the PS4 because you had to get homework done. Okay, so that's an example of a sacrifice. So tell us a sacrifice that you had in your life that you had to do something. Maybe put the food down. Put the Mickey D's down. we can't hear you. You gotta unmute yourself.
Um, I don't know.
Come on, Joe. Come on. A sacrifice. I just gave you an example of a sacrifice. Something, just anything that you did, right? Maybe it's giving your friend the last candy that you had. Right? You wanted this candy. And your friend was like, oh, but I want it. You gave it. So give us an example. I done gave you four. Go ahead, Zay.
Oh, I have one that Joe can speak about sacrifice. Joe, when I had to drive us home and remember we needed gas, talk about that.
We had to go home and it was long gas and I didn't have any money and I had to put money in to get gas. Yeah.
All right, Joe. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Zay.
Just to elaborate a little bit more on how sacrifice ties into it, because Joe had a couple dollars left and we was right on E. And I said either we push this car home or we stop at this gas station right here. I didn't have any money. And yeah, so we went and he put all the money he had in and got himself a bag of chips also. So yeah, that's a sacrifice.
That's what I'm talking about, Joe. That's what I'm talking about. And that is a sacrifice. I'm sure you didn't want to give up all your money, but at the end it worked out because you got yourself a bag of chips. So that works out. Big bro, I am going to give you, and we are getting ready to close, but I'm going to give you working on your weaknesses. Was there a time in your life where you was like, okay, I have to sit down and work on this weakness that I have? Maybe you could talk about having mom's attitude. Was there a time where you had to sit down and say, I need to change my attitude because this is getting me in trouble?
As you was talking, I was actually thinking of my attitude. Uh, for many of you who don't really know, I'm quiet, I'm laid back, but don't get on my nerves or don't get on my bad side because I'll go from 0 to 100 really quickly, like my mother does. Um, and so oftentimes, um, and my attitude is not triggered when my attitude is triggered. I'll say it this way: is when someone else does something wrong, right? But oftentimes, just because it's wrong doesn't mean on our part it's right to respond in the way that we do. So I had to learn how to, um, how to take a step back and really evaluate the situation and really take a uh, just take some time, digest what is being said, and as the scripture says, be slow to speak.
Hmm.
Um, so and even when dealing with people, even with working in retail, um, that is the easy trigger for me. I get customers all the time who think they are entitled and think you're going to talk to me any type of way. And I'm quick with the responses like, no, that's not what you're going to do. Um, but I also have to remember that, you know, there is a certain standard that you have to uphold. Um, and you can't lash out, all the time just because someone has lashed out on you. You are accountable for how you respond. And so I'm still learning this because still people get on my nerves and I'm ready. I'm ready. But you know, I'm learning how to be calm. And I think for me, one thing that helps me is I ask myself, is it worth it?
Hmm.
Um, because, oftentimes we can have a right to be mad, but is it worth the reaction that is going to bring out of us? And so I'm slowly but surely learning how to control that, especially, being preacher's kids, you know, you got, I know there was one time where I was in church and at the time I wasn't in school and, as preacher's kids, a lot of people know us. So one guy came up to me, never seen him a day in my life, never seen him a day in my life. But he knew me. And he was like, "Oh, are you in still in school?" And I was like, "Oh, not right now, blah blah blah." He was like, "Oh, well, you need to go back to school." Basically telling me what I need to do. And I looked at him crazy, like, first of all, I've never seen you before. So how can you tell me what I need to do? Um, and I was ready. I was ready to say something slick, but I had to remember where I was, who I am, and so I could not respond the way that I wanted to respond.
Hmm. That is powerful, powerful, powerful words coming from our own big bro. Guys, again, these words are not just words, but we've lived them, and we're giving you advice for a successful year. I'll do this real quick because we have a couple minutes. I would say mine is new results. If you want new results, do something different. So I'm going to kind of go the spiritual route. And so I lost my scholarship 2 years ago, I want to say. I lost my scholarship 2 years ago. Full ride academic scholarship 2 years ago. Okay. So when I got the scholarship, let's fast forward to like 5 years ago. When I got the scholarship, my parents were happy, they were excited, smiles on their face. Fast forward, I lose this scholarship. A full ride scholarship, I lose. So I have to tell my parents, and my heart is just racing. And I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I could not register for classes. They were, I'm being a little bit dramatic with this, but they were not kicking me out, but they were sending me emails about you need to pay your housing or else you can't be on campus no more, basically. And I'm not going to say they was forcing me out because that's a bit dramatic. Just sending me emails like, hey, you owe this. Okay, to come to High Point University is $60,000 a year. I did not have $60,000. Okay, I just did not have that. And so, I tell my parents and they're like, oh, crazy, crazy, whatnot. And so I'm trying to figure things out on my own. I'm not getting nowhere with it, right? I'm like, okay, let me try to do this. Let me try to do that. And things just start getting worse and worse when I'm trying to do that. I'm still trying to figure out things, trying to do things on my own. Again, getting the same result, but trying it again, over and over again. And I'm thinking something would change, nothing's changing, and it's getting worse. Until finally, and again, I say I'm going to take the spiritual route. Finally, I said, okay, God, you have me right where you want me. Okay. I lost my scholarship. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Can't register for classes. I won't be here next year. You have me right where you want me. And I was like, I need you, God. I need you to fix it. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I just need you to fix it because obviously I can't fix it. I can't do it because I'm getting the same result. I go back and my counselor, financial counselor, she tells me, you can write this essay, this paragraph about why you lost your scholarship, but that does not work all the time. They say 8 times out of 10, that never works. They decline it all the time, but you can appeal to the scholarship. So I appealed the scholarship. I'm like, okay, God, I need you to give me the words for this. I'm looking up, searching on the internet, powerful words to say. I'm searching up in the dictionary, things to persuade people. I'm doing the whole 9 yards because I need this scholarship back. Because if I can't, I'm not going to get my degree and I have to go somewhere else. So I'm trying to do all these things. Fast forward, I have my scholarship back, right? And what I'm trying to say is that when I decided that I can't do it myself, right? Again, getting the same result. I tried multiple times to do it myself, and I was getting the same result. But when I finally said, there's something that needs to change, that's when the situation changed, right? The situation didn't change when obviously, yes, the situation did change when I went to God. But at the very moment that I decided I needed a change, that's when my situation started to change. And that's when God started to change my situation. So you guys have to understand that these words that we say, we can talk a good game, but it's not enough for us to talk about it. You got to apply it and do it, right? You got to be determined for yourself, right? If you want success, you got to go after it. I'm not going to do it for you. You got to chase your success. If you're not motivated, right, you then get motivated. There's a ton of ways of how you can motivate yourself. Listening to music, talking to somebody, searching up on YouTube, working on your weaknesses, as Joe said. Working on your weaknesses, taking the time out to sit down and say, you know what? This is a weakness. This could get me in trouble. Let me spend some time on this. Doing something different, as I just shared, sacrifice, and then being comfortable, being uncomfortable. So these are the words, guys, that we want you to take with you, and not just take and not just hear, but apply them to your lives. These are the words we have for you to have success in the new year. We're getting ready to close. Zay, Saad, Big Bro, Joe, do you guys have any other things you want to mention? Any other things you want to say? Anything, if you have it, go ahead and unmute yourselves now. All right. Well, we are getting ready to close. Guys, as always, we truly thank you for your support. We love you and we thank you for your support coming on the live. And we just want to say thank you. Now, the flip side to that is we need you to share this. Okay, share this to other people. We was in Bible study 2 nights ago, and we have a pretty small group. But one thing my dad said is it's not enough for you guys to hear it, but we want other people to hear it so that they can be blessed. And so we're asking you to share this so that someone else can hear this message and apply what they heard to their life. So share this. Also, if you want some merch, let us know. We have Johnson 5 merch out. We have t-shirts and we have mugs and we have a few hats. I think we have 3 or 4 hats. I have to double check. We don't have a lot of hats. So if you want something, hurry up and let us know because our merch is selling out quickly. Again, we have t-shirts, we have mugs, and we have a few hats. Guys, thank you again so much for watching. We will be live stream. We'll let you know. Make sure you are following us on both platforms, Instagram and Facebook, to stay up to date at Johnson 5 Talk Show on Facebook, and then on Instagram at Johnson5_talk.show. Stay tuned because there is a story time that we are bringing to you on Wednesday. One of the brothers will go on live and share a story that impacted their life. And that's happening this Wednesday. For more information on that, again, make sure you are following us on Facebook and on Instagram, again, at the Johnson 5 Talk Show, which is on Facebook, and then on Instagram at Johnson5_talk.show. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more information. Enjoy your night.
Real quick, again, this Friday, the Voice of Preachers Kids, hosted by me. We are going live. Part 1, we're going to be talking about who we are, who has God created us to be, what is our identity, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit, about my story. So tune in for that at 7 p.m. Facebook Live.
Yes, again, guys, that is going to be powerful. The Voice of a Preacher's Kid. Okay, you want to make sure that you stay tuned for that because that is powerful. Any other remarks? Any other announcements? All right. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.